We'll get started. So I'll give you a quick breakdown of what tool to use for beginners. So this will be an intro to automation. So if you're running an agency right now, even if you just have one client, if you have 5 clients, you want to have these automations because it will make life way easier. Some stuff you can't automate. You still need a VA, like market research. Yeah, you can try GPT, but you still need someone to go and maybe scrape Facebook groups, scrape LinkedIn, scrape different forums, Reddit, YouTube comments, whatever you like. So most of these automations will help you lower churn because your clients will see you as a better, not just an agency owner, but a better service provider. And also you have to like make sure that all of these automations work with your tool. So maybe some people use different CRM or use different sending tool. I'll just give you a quick overview of the logic and how it works. And for some universal automations, there is a breakdown on how it works. And then at the end, there will be some super secret sauce that only the people here and people that have Inner Circle Plus will be able to get. If you're not in Inner Circle Plus, join. Yeah, so the simplest tool to use is Zapier. Some people maybe use Native, some people maybe use Pabbly, but Zapier is the best for beginners. What you can do is you can get Zapier for way cheaper. I'll let you know at the end, but it's so cheap you won't believe it. And also, when you're getting Zapier, don't get the most cheapest plan. Get the middle one or the one higher up, because they limit you on like the timing between the zaps and also how many you can run at once. And also some of them are added as premium. Like I think now when they introduce GPTs, the new stuff OpenAI introduced, you will need one of the higher plans. So don't cheap out to get something that works. So the 5 most important zaps you need to have are the onboarding zap, client onboarding zap, CRM zap, the invoice zap, and the DOE zap. These are the 5 best ones in my opinion. The reason why is because it starts with the onboarding. So when you get a new client, you want to make sure that they get a sense of, okay, this guy is serious. He knows what he's doing. He has a team. Even if you just have one VA or 2 VAs or no VAs, you'll get them eventually. So you're always a team. And you want to automate this. So you don't want to send emails manually and wait for the client to reply. What you can do is you can use Stripe and Gmail. So I think a lot of people here, or most of you, use Stripe or Revolut. So with Stripe and with Zapier, you can create a trigger where when a new customer is added, so that will happen when they actually pay the invoice. This won't be triggered until they pay the invoice. When they pay the invoice, you send an email. Now in this email, you can say whatever you want, but this is how you would fill out the Zap workflow. So 2, you just reference the thing from Stripe. So in Stripe, when you get a new customer, you get all their information, email, first name, last name, all their information, the invoice they paid, everything. You just want the email. And then from, it can be your email. You can change to any email. It just has to be a Gmail, but it doesn't need to be the one from like the Zapier account you use or the one from your agency. It can be your personal one, the one from your VA, anyone's email. From name, you can put in your first name, last name. You can also edit this. And then a subject line, you can just say, welcome, John, welcome first name, or nice to have you on board. So these are just examples. Everything else you can leave blank. And then for the body, it can be just, hey, first name, here's link to our G Drive. So if you use Google Drive or if you use Dropbox or Box or I don't know, whatever tool, you can link it there. And then you can link the onboarding form. You can also link other stuff like the invite to your Slack channel, or what you can also do is the email of one of your VAs, or you can also have your phone number there. So this is just an example, but you can put in the body. You can put a lot more, but it's just the bare bones and the things you need to have. If you don't have this, you're missing out on all potential clients, and you'll get churn. Like eventually, people will churn if you have a bad onboarding workflow. So the client reporting zap, that makes sure that when campaigns are running and when you're getting replies, even if they're negative, they're positive, if they're out of office ones, if you track a certain KPI, let's say you track open rates, for example, which you shouldn't, or if you're tracking mini book rate, depending on your sending tool, it's different. So, but the main thing is you want to use a webhook. So why I want to use a webhook is because all the info is there. If you use Instantly or if you use Smart Lead, when the webhook gets activated, it gives you the first name and last name of the lead, their email, and all the other variables. So imagine in the email itself, you use the city variable, that will be a part of the email, and you will also get the reply. So all of this will be in the webhook using the Zapier webhook app. You can look at it, or what you can also do is use another website where you can just view webhooks. You just make a mock-up one, and when it like receives the information, you can view what's available. But most of the sending tools, even if you use maybe a Lemlist or Woodpecker, which you shouldn't, everything will be in the webhook. And then use Sheets. The reason why you want to use Sheets is because it's super, super powerful, even though it looks like a Excel copycat. You have all the columns and rows you can add. Plus, with Google Data Studio, you can create a really, really nice dashboard or chart where it's all dynamic. It gets updated in real time, and you can also edit that information. So, what you can do is have a Zap and make it so that every day, let's say at 10 a.m., their time zone. So, let's say the client is in New York at 10 a.m. Eastern, the dashboard gets refreshed. So by refreshed, what I mean is it deletes the info from the previous day. So you don't want to have a dashboard that just keeps adding new info, new info, new info, because you'll eventually like have 10 campaigns running at once, and it will give the client a false sense of, okay, this isn't working, while the bad campaigns are ruining the good ones. So you want to delete the info in one sheet every 24 hours, or you can do it every week, whatever your client prefers. We usually do 24 hours because that's the best way to do it. If it's done like every 2 days, it can be an issue, even if there's a big time zone difference. So even if you're, let's say, on the West Coast and you're working with someone from Australia, I would still recommend 24 hours because that, makes you look like a legit lead gen service provider. And then the logic. So the logic is quite simple. So it's the Zapier webhook and then Sheets. And then within Zapier have different options for Sheets on what they can do. You can manipulate the data there. But it's like, if you think about it, super, super simple. So you get data from the webhook, and that webhook get all the data gets added to Sheets. There's no limit. So why it's better than like doing it through the master inbox is because even if you have VAs, they will forget. So some of them, they'll forget to mark something, or some reply maybe will end in spam. When you do it through the webhook, through a sending tool, even if the reply from the client to your inbox lands in spam, it will still notice it because it will catch it. And then there's no way to make an error. And all your stats will be the ones that are in instantly or smart lead. So all the stats like the amount of emails that were sent, the reply rate, the open rate, everything's there. If you do it through the master inbox where you don't, mark them as booked or interested, that data won't be there, so it will be blank. But what you can also do, this is a more advanced automation, you can create labels in Gmail. So if you use Gmail as the master inbox, and then when a certain label is added to a reply, that data also gets added to that sheet. So don't feel like one sheet can only fetch like data from one source. That's not true. You can have one sheet and get 5 different data sources, and they'll be running at once, and there will be no issues. You just want to create a separate column, or within Sheets you create another sheet. So in the bottom left you have different tabs of sheets. You can just create a new one, and then everything will be there. What I would advise you to do is create a dashboard in which the client, they can't see like the specific lead that replied. You just want to give them numbers. So imagine it's a dashboard and they will open it like once or twice per day. But if it says the name of the lead, like the deal size is fine. But if it says like the actual reply, so if it's like a fuck off, you don't want that to appear because it's like you're annoying people. Some clients are like that. So you just want to have like a graph or just like a super simple number where it says replies received today, and then 5, calls booked 2, and then deals closed 1, for example. So it's super simple setup in Sheets. You can also fetch data from different tabs. So natively in Sheets, you can use the $sign, and then it will fetch data from the other tab in Sheets. So the CRM Zap, this one is also a bit different depending on what CRM you use. So if you use Pipedrive, which you should, and not Close. Does anyone here use Close?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Okay, okay. You know I hate it. So use HubSpot. It's better.
Nah,
So
there's no
if you
way.
use any of these,
There's no fucking way HubSpot is better.
oh, it's better. It's better.
Nah, there's
It's
no
gotten better.
fucking way.
Okay, okay. Pipedrive is the best then. So if you use these three, or I don't think anyone here uses Salesforce. Maybe their client uses, but everything's easier. So you don't need to worry about using webhooks to connect them. You just log in, add Zapier, add the CRM to Zapier, and everything will work. And again, you're fetching data from the webhook. The reason why is because I said everything's there. If you tried to get the data from the master inbox, it will miss. The reason why is because the master inbox can't go and get their first name, last name, and all that. It will mess it up because it's just reading the stuff that's in the email. So you can't tell it like extract the signature because it doesn't know where the signature is. You can't tell it, oh, it's the last line in the email. It doesn't work that way. It's always looking for variables, like when you're sending cold email. So you always want to do it through the webhook. And like I said, there's no limit there, and it fires instantly. There's no delay. Before, like earlier tools like Lemlist, they had like a 15, 20-second delay, but right now instantly smartly, there's no delay. Instantly is a bit shallow still. Like smartly is a bit better because smartly also has the API, but they're both good. So whatever you like. The invoice app, this one is also super, super nice to have. Keep track of all the invoices. So you'll send loads. So if you send them every week, bi-weekly, onboarding, invoices, anything like that, you want to make sure that all of them are added to Google Drive. The reason why you want to add to Google Drive is because Stripe works really, really well with Google Drive, and you can also add the PDFs themselves. So the logic is quite simple. So you have one trigger, one action, and then the event, you can name whatever you want. Sub-trigger or the label. So the label is the one that's in your inbox. So you can write like a Stripe one or invoices or whatever you use. And you want to get your VAs, or you can do it yourself, where when you add a label, it gets triggered. And then it searches for the string. The string will always be invoice if you use Stripe, if you use Revolut, or if you use like have Stripe or other payment processor in a language, make that search string something different. So I didn't know in maybe like that's in German, so whatever you like. Just a file, and then you want to make sure that everything is written correctly. So the drive, you pick your drive. It can be My Online Biz. That can be one of your folders or any folder you like. The attachment is of course the one from the email. You don't want to convert the document because that can mess it up. And everything else, like you can leave blank. If you leave it blank, then it will be the same one as like the info that's in the email. The file extension, I will leave it blank. Sometimes like it's a PDF, and sometimes it's like a doc, like a Word document, depending on your sending to the way you process payments. If you use like PandaDoc, we can also use that, but I think most people like Stripe natively. I think it's still good enough, even though I don't use it. I think it's good enough for most people. If you have, payment issues and all of that, maybe switch to another one. But the UI is, I think, the best. I don't think there's any similar payment processor like Stripe. They really worked on it. So whatever you prefer. And then the Doze app. The Doze app, the reason why I call it like that is because when you onboard a client and you book a call, sometimes they'll be like, a lead was interested, and they maybe say, yeah, I'm available on Friday at 2 p.m., but they never book a call, or you book a call. So using this app, you always know if the correct lead booked the call on the correct calendar. Sometimes you're working with a client that maybe has an SDR, and what you want to do is you want to make sure that that SDR gets in contact with the right lead. And the way you do it is you just get the Calendly API key. So you go into their account, ask your client to either give you access to their account or they can send it to you. You just get the key, so the API key. When you get this, then you're done. So this can be done for an unlimited amount of Calendly accounts. So if it's 5, 10, 15, doesn't matter. One API key is specific to one account, and there's no way they can get mixed up. You can do it natively through Zapier, but the issue there is if you sign in then it will always be the same Calendly account. So in Zapier only supports one Calendly. You can't switch. With this, you can create a different Zap and just call it client 1, client 2, client 3, or client 1, SDR1, client 1, SDR2, and it will always trigger the correct one. So it's quite easy. So the trigger is when the invitee is creating Calendly. So when they book a call, then you send the message in Slack. So if you use Slack with your team or as a to-do list or also for client communication, you can send these messages in multiple channels. So you can pick your internal one or the external one. Or if you use multiple Slack workspaces, what we usually tell people to do is create one master workspace. So it's your agency one. So agency name workspace, for example. And then you add your clients as guests in Slack with Slack Connect. That way you don't need to pay a separate workspace all the time and nothing, gets mixed up. You have separate like list of channels in Slack for them and a separate list for your internal ones. And then you just click on the client name, they're there and they chat with you. And you share everything there. All your team members will have access, all the Zapier automation. So Zapier, you just add it as a bot to Slack, and that bot can do multiple things. You can rename it your custom thing, so you can name it, I don't know, agency name bot, or just Zapier, or just notification. You can do whatever you want, and then it knows where to post what message. So it won't go and post the message in your internal channel, not the external one, the client one. You can tell it, okay, post here and here. If it doesn't work straight away, you can just duplicate it and run it at the same time. It won't be an issue. So you create the trigger. So the event, if your clients have multiple events, you have to create multiple zaps. That's the issue. It's not smart enough to know if the calendar is blank. And then you send a channel message. You can also send a personal DM to yourself or to the client, but a channel message is better because everyone can view it, and then you can, count and react with emojis and all that. And then the way you set it up is the channel, that's the name of your Slack channel. You can either do through the ID, which is I think the better one. So you just find the channel, you right click, copy ID, or you can just start typing, it will appear. If you use multiple Slack accounts, you can't connect multiple on Zapier, that's still an issue. You can just migrate one Slack account to another one and combine it. That will work. And then the message text, this is a good one. So no booking from invitee email. And then you can do invitee first name. And all of the things that are in the Calendly form, they can be added here. So imagine you had a question where it was like, are you using a project management tool right now? And it's yes or no. So what you can do is just write out the questions, or using the project management tool right now, and then it can be yes or no, and then you use the variable from Calendly. So it will be invitee answer or invitee form, and then the event type name, that's the name of the event. So if it was, I don't know, a demo call or a demo call for a SaaS, so demo call for Slack, that will appear here. So everything that's in Calendly, it can be here. You always want to enable send as bot. You never want to
And
send
and
it
then Nathan,
as
obviously,
yourself.
you obviously want to remember to input the bell emoji in the message text channel, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Very, very
yeah. So
important.
you can add emojis, of course. Yeah. So everything's here. The bot name you can change it. It can be Zapier. It can be whatever you want. But when they click on it, if they right click and like wait for it to load, it will always say Zapier. So you can never mask it. Like if you want to build a custom Slack bot, that's a different thing. But if you can rename it here, but it will always be like icon of the Zapier gear. So there's no way to go past that. So if you want more advanced automations and really cool stuff, so this was just an overview of the 5 essential ones. So I could have added a bit more, but I think that having a CRM automation, an onboarding one, an invoicing one, and the Calendly one are, I think, the more sport ones. The dashboard, you can also use different tools. So here I mentioned Sheets. I'll go back. But you can use other tools. So there's like Clipio, I think, and other like Clipfolio also, like different dashboard tools. Those are cool. But in Sheets, you can use the Google Data Studio tool, and you can create amazing dashboards. And also what you can do is you can embed them. So if you, let's say, have a landing page that's equipped with the ROI calculator, below it you can have like a snapshot of the live dashboard of one of your clients, or you can combine all of those. So you can create a new dashboard, a landing page that combines the best data. So you're not going to, put the not interested reply rates and all that. You want to put the good stuff on the landing page. And then when someone visits, they'll be like, okay, this is the ROI calculator. And below that, it's a dashboard. And it's live. You just embed it. It's super, super simple. And they can see, okay, at 500, emails sent, there were 5 positive replies, for example, and 3 booked calls. The potential deal size on these 3 is like 75K. So I'm going to work with this agency. That's also a super, super cool thing to add. A lot of people are using it. The ROI calculator, I think, has become really, really popular, but no one has added these dashboards. And don't worry, like when you embed it, they can't edit it or they can't like copy it. So it's like protected within like the HTML code. So even if you use Card, if you use ClickFunnels, if you use Go High Level, if you use, I don't know, WordPress, whatever website builder, it's going to be 100% safe, and it's dynamic. So you don't need to go and change it. It's fetched through Sheets for the Google Data Studio, and it works really, really well. So if you want to get the most advanced automations, you need to join the 101. Is that right?
That's fucking right. That's fucking right.
Yeah, so you'll get, this is just a snapshot of what you will get. So the Slack campaign bots, what they will do is when you write out a campaign, your client will automatically get notified in Slack, and they can approve it or disapprove it or add comments. So everything is done through Slack. You don't need to send them an email. You don't need to tell your VAs to send them an email. Everything is in Slack. When it is approved, it's automatically added to instantly or smartly. So it's just one button. You get automated domain setups. So I know it takes some time to set up the SPF records, DKIM, DMARC, custom tracking domain. With this automation, if you use GoDaddy, you can get your Google inboxes and your Outlook inboxes ready in one click. So it takes one click, everything is done for you. All the DCAM records are added, all the SPF records, all the DMARC, everything is added. And you can also create users. So it's only one, you don't need to get a VA to do this. So you're going to save like $300 per month just on this. And you get the automated inbox setups. So when the user is created, it's automatically added to your sending tool, so instant to your smart lead. And we adjust the warm-up settings. So let's say you want to warm up a bit faster, and then you start with 3 emails per day, or if you want to warm up a bit slower, you start with 20 per day. Everything is done through automation. You have custom client portals, so you need to go and pay for different tools. You get a custom one where each client can just log in and they'll see a snapshot of what's happening. So you have the Google Data Studio dashboard there. You'll have info from their calendar. You have everything there. It's highly, highly custom. And you have your own logo. So it'll look super, super professional. And they will never know that it's done through automation and through different APIs. They'll think, oh, they built out a custom tool for me. So you can build a lot more. These SaaS guys, they really like when everything's clean and nice. The scraping scripts. So you will also get different sheet scripts where you'll be able to get Shopify, Magento, WooCommerce, Clutch, Crunchbase, DNB, website info. Everything's on in Sheets. You just click one button and everything's there. You'll also be able to verify emails within Sheets. You'll be able to find emails from LinkedIn profiles within Sheets. You'll be able to write custom first lines based on their job description. So you also get hiring data in there, and you will get the list of like the most recent posts. So let's say you're offering ghostwriting services, or if you're offering, I don't know, content creation, you can reach out to people that haven't posted for a while on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and you'll be able to get their captions, so everything will be there. Plus, you'll be able to use AI to write highly, highly personalized, with quotes, emails that no one will be able to write like you. So They will never know, okay, this guy is automating this, because each email, it's not just variables, it's complete emails that are written using the system through AI. And also you get hiring SOPs, so you'll know where to hire your inbox managers, your VAs, your client success managers, list cleaners, everything, cold callers, and also how to get them onboarded. So you get automations for that. When a new team member is onboarded, automatically in Slack they get a notification what to do. You set up their, like, if you use, let's say, Asana or ClickUp, everything is set up there where they have their daily tasks. You can also create mini VSLs. So let's say a client gets a call booked, but they don't show up to the call, so it's no show. What you can do using this system is you'll be able to create VSLs, so mini VSLs that use the client's voice and the website of the lead. So imagine like Loom or Potion or Pitchline on steroids, and everything is sent automatically. So there's no need to wait to go and click anything, get your VAs. You click one button, it's done. And you'll be able to scale faster, easier, and print more. And have champagne with Pepe.
Champagne with pepper. Boys, this was obviously just like we're not trying to pressure anyone into joining the one-on-one, but we wanted to take this time to kind of just present what we'll actually do in the one-on-one, and we also got a lot of other stuff. But this was basically just more on the automation side. But if anyone is interested in this, just reach out to me in the DMs and we can talk about it. We also got some crazy guarantees and stuff like that. But this is just some of the snippets of what will happen if someone decides that they want to kind of get into the one-on-one, kind of work with Nathan and I a little bit more on a one-on-one level, on a more personal level, and kind of scale up the agency. Granted that you do have some experience in running the agency, because we don't want to kind of take on people that is completely green in the field of lead generation. But this was just like a little snippet of it. Nathan, do you have more on the presentation, or do you want to kind of go into the Q&A section of the call?
I think we can go into the Q&A. Like I said, so these are the five like most basic automation that you have. Next week or next month, we can maybe do five more and give you a glimpse of how they work. But that's something that's like you need to have. If you don't have this, like you're like just wasting time and paying VAs for nothing. All this can be automated. There are also a few good ones, but I didn't want to include them because it depends what you use. So you can see with the CRMs, I didn't include how to set them up because everyone uses a different CRM. If you use Close, if you use Pipedrive, it's not the same in Zapier on how to do it. And also one bonus thing, if you want to get Zapier for cheap, you can use Zaps Unlimited. I'll link it in chat. You can get Zapier for $30 per month. So one of the highest plans for $30 per month, you get 100K Zaps for that much.
That's the fucking
So that's a
sauce.
bonus. Yeah, so $30 and you have everything ready. The things that are in one-on-one, that's not done through Zapier, that's done through a different tool and it's highly custom. So if you want to get the like one-on-one stuff through Zapier, it's not possible, so don't even try.
Let's fucking go. Sap's fucking unlimited. All right, boys, let's open the floor. So, any automation related questions for this masterclass, bring them up in the chat or ask to speak, and we'll bring you up and you can kind of get some priority if you want to speak. So, anyone that has some questions, raise your hand and we'll get you up. Or just ask them in the chat.
Yeah, so Ali asked, what info do you send to the CRM with webhooks? You get everything there. So the webhook, it includes all the variables. It includes the email, the time you receive the reply. So depending on your sending tool, you can just test it out. Just do a test, run. In Zapier, you can just add a simple webhook and then either docs or sheets, and you'll get all the data that's available. But like I said, everything is there. So that's an issue. Like you're limited by what Instantly and SmartLink can do. I think SmartLink gives you a bit more data than Instantly. All the other things, so let's say you want to get the LinkedIn profile of the lead, that can be done through Zapier. Like you can go and look for your lead sheet. So this is like a bonus one. Let's add a sixth one, just a bonus. So when that lead is interested, or if when they book a call, what you can do is you can have a Zapier automation where after that zap is done, it goes into a sheet where you have all your leads. So you want to have like a master lead list. I advise everyone to do that. Like don't have separate CSVs and all of that. Have a master lead list where you have everything there. So you have the leads LinkedIn profile, their location, their email, everything is there. What you can do is you can tell Zapier to go and search for like a specific keyword, so like a key, and that key is their email, and then get the data that's to the right or to the left of it. So you can do it that way, or you can just use Zapier to get all the data. So it will extract it by rows. So let's say you have, I don't know, Jack at jacksautomobiles.com, and he is in cell A7, what you'll do is you can get all the data from that row. So from B7, C7, D7, everything will be added to the CRM your client uses, and you can map that. So maybe some clients they want, like I said, the LinkedIn profile, or maybe they want the website as well. So everything can be added there. You just tell Zapier to map it correctly, and you're done. So in the Google Drive create during onboarding, yeah. So it depends how you want to onboard, but usually it's the form, so you can do it through Google Forms, or you can use Typeform, whatever you like. And the drive that just contains, it's like at the start it's like a blank one, so it's just called client name folder, and then they can add everything there. So all their case studies, all their materials, if they ran, let's say, email in the past or LinkedIn, you tell them add everything there, so you can create campaigns, and you can have another folder within that with all your scripts. So when the script is written, they can just go and look at that specific folder and see the scripts you're written for a campaign that's launching today, tomorrow, in 2 days, 3 days, whatever. Yeah, so they can share, or you can add something in there about yourself, but there's no need. They already, you can add the contract, which is fine. And then you can also have the link to the sheet. So the sheet where you created the dashboard, it can be there. But most of them, they'll just use it to give you information. That's how it's set up.
Yeah, Rabbit.
Can someone join the voice? Like, let's not just read chat. So it sounds robotic.
Yeah, that's true. Anyone got some questions around automation that they want to kind of get addressed? Raise your hand.
So I'll ask, what's the most important information? So it's like, if you think about automations, it's the results. So the amount of leads that you're contacting, the amount of emails that are sent, the replies that you receive. That's the most important thing. Everything else, like, it's important, but it doesn't matter if, let's say, you send an invoice 2 days after the deadline, or 2 days before. It's not a big issue. That can also be automated. But I think that the most important thing is to have the results and the things you're doing in the automations. It's a mix, bunkers. It's a mix.
Oh, 30. What's up, brother? Mic not working. Nah, I can't hear you, bro. Can anyone else hear him?
No,
Okay.
I can't.
Maybe the microphone is off, or it's not the right microphone.
Snooze is typing something. At the start. So you want to get automations at the start. You don't want to wait. You want to future proof. So like I said, with these five, you'll be set. Like you'll be ready. Like you'll save so much time, and you'll like just these five can replace one VA. So one VA that works not full time but part time for you. So maybe they work at 45-50% capacity. It will save time. Oh, Walid wants to join.
Hey guys, am I
Yeah,
audible?
Yes, sir.
yeah, yeah.
All right, awesome. So I'm a little bit confused right now. First of all, thanks for the session. But just wanted clarity on the one-on-one session. If it's something, if we, let's say, if we choose to enroll, I'm currently somebody that has about 2 or 3 clients that are active. So would the service be for the clients that I'm servicing, or would it be for my lead gen agency, or could it be a mix of both as well?
It's definitely a mix of both, but in terms of like information around the one-on-one, just reach out to me on the DMs and we can have a talk about it and see if it's
Hmm.
even a good fit for the persons that want to get the one-on-one. Because obviously, like we want to work with people that we don't actually know we can get results for, and sometimes it's not actually the right timing for the people that want to join the one-on-one. So definitely, just if
Yeah.
you are actually interested in working a little bit more closely with Nathan and I, and actually scaling up the lead
Hmm.
generation business, just reach out and we can have a talk about it, just like a chill conversation about it.
Awesome, man. We'll do that.
Yes, sir.
Cheers.
Snooze, it's never too early. So you want to future proof, like I said, you don't want to wait, and you want to get used to it. So Zapier is just one tool. You can like use other ones, but I tell everyone at the start, if you're just trying out automations, use Zapier. It has the nicest UI, even though it doesn't have the most amount of apps and the most amount of like workflows. It's still really really good. So you can easily implement a lot of automations that work really really well. But if you're doing something like, let's say you're also doing omnichannel outreach through another tool like HeyReach, it can be difficult with Zapier because there needs to be a delay and you need to know like how it works. So I think Meet Alfred is the only one that's really good with Zapier, and maybe Duck Soup, but like Valexy and those guys, they don't work really well with Zapier. Oh, Michael's here. Yo, yo, yo.
Hey, Michael. Oh, you want to speak?
I invited him.
Oh, you invited him.
Yeah, to speak. Yeah, start with Zapier to get used to it, and then the big boys use something else. But at the start, that's fine.
Yes, Xavier is fucking good in the start if you know almost nothing about automations because it's just so easy to kind of navigate.
Why are you so shy? Join Connor. I know Connor or Bonkers has a question for sure.
Broncos had the question around like more advanced automation coded, like, or is the more advanced automations through Python, or is it still Make or Zapier?
It's a mix. It's a
It's a mix.
mix.
It's a mix. Yeah, but I also think that like automations is like somewhat of a hard topic because you don't know what can actually be automated before you actually figure it out.
Depends on your workflow. Like the basic ones are these, but you can have, like I said, and if you guys get the one-on-one, you'll see how much you can automate. You wouldn't believe it.
What's up, Bunkers?
Bonkers, yo yo yo.
Is my mic being stupid? I see that my Discord like icon is lighting up a lot.
Yeah,
No, no, it's
there's some background
hissing
noise,
a bit,
but it's
but it's
probably
fine.
Okay, hold up. That should be better at least.
yeah.
Yeah, I really think I had questions. It's funny that you did this chat here because I've just started learning about this stuff independently too, and I have a bunch of ideas about things to automate. But yeah, I think Zapier does seem like a good place to start, and then learning more advanced stuff over time.
Yeah, 100%. And also, if you use more tools, so what you can do is, for example, you can like automate the like form they would fill out. So let's say when the form is filled out right now with GPTs, what you can do is right after the form is filled out by the client, it starts researching. So that's a new thing that's going to be implemented. We have a prototype right now, but I think in a couple of days should be all done. Where you onboard a client, they answer the questions, and then that data goes straight into GPT-4 or Bing or Bard, whatever you like, and it starts researching all of it.
Yeah, I've seen you can integrate these GPTs really easily through. I mean, I've only looked into Make. I don't know how it works with Zapier, but it's really easy to do it through Make, and it's really cool that you can just blast information like that.
Yeah, yeah. But what you can also do is, if you let's say offer content creation. You can go and scrape the content that was the most like popular per class. So let's say if they're active on Twitter, you scrape their most engaged tweets, and then through AI you get a sense of okay what topics are performing the best, and you can start rewriting that content. So at the start, if you offer that, so what we also do like not ghostwriting but a bit of content creation, we use that as inspiration for the first batch of posts that we create. You send them the agreement as soon as possible. So like even during the call, like John, like if like you want to get paid fast, you don't want them to go and beat around the bush.
If all the decision makers is on the call, you can just send it over, like right away on the call, and you can kind of make breakout rooms in the Zoom, and you just let the decision makers kind of talk around it and see the agreement and figure out if they want to move forward with it. Sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes it does. So that's great when you can collect the cash right up front. But sometimes just they don't want to sign it right on the call, and that's fine too. So you can just send it over afterwards. All right, boys. Do we have some last questions before we wrap this automation masterclass up? Oi, Jonas.
What are the other ones?
Come up here, Ali, if you want to ask some more questions.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, I was asking Nathan some questions yesterday, and appreciate that very much, Nathan. But I guess my question is, when do you call a campaign a failure or just switch to a completely different niche? I'm on sent about like 900 emails and maybe like 1 to 2 book calls on this campaign, and just trying to figure out like whether this is worth ramming way more volume or doing like a different niche completely.
So what I usually do is I look at the TAM. So if the TAM is big enough, then I'll still keep pushing. Like I wouldn't change the niche until I have emailed everyone. That's just my opinion. Even if the TAM is 20K, you can ram that in like a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, and you're okay. But I wouldn't switch niches until you have contacted everyone, because you never know. Maybe it's a specific segment that works, or maybe it's other issue. So what I would do is I would keep pushing until you're like, burn through the TAM. And if you're looking at campaigns, what I would do is always run multiple ones. So you never look at a campaign as something that's completely done. Like even if all of the emails are sent and everything, you still want to wait for people to respond a bit. So you want to run at least like 3 campaigns at once. And after, like, it depends on like what you like. So some people they do it 500 leads, 1,000 leads. I think 500 is a good amount. So you look at 3 campaigns with 500 leads, and you look at the stats. So what has gotten the most positive replies, what has gotten the most booked calls,
500 leads
what's more.
each.
Yeah. So
Okay.
you pick a number you like. So it could be 500, 700. If the TAM is like 5K, it's going to be a bit smaller, like 250, 300. But 250 is the bare minimum. So below 250, that data it's not good enough, because it's small sample size. Like at 100, that's nothing. 150, nothing. Like 250 is, in my opinion, the minimum, and then you can go up to like 750, 1K. I wouldn't like waste more than 1K, because like even at 30K, that's still a good amount of leads. So between 500 and 750, and then pick the ones that are performing the best. The ones that are performing, kill them. Create a new doc where you write out the angle that didn't work and what you think the reason why they didn't work. And then when you're writing new copy, you always want to go and take a glance and see, okay, I don't want to use this angle again because I know it doesn't work.
Gotcha. Okay. Thank you.
All right, Jonas.
Thanks for the call.
Yeah, to replace pitch lane, there was a way to automate VAM, I think, will we go through that here in this group or?
Yeah. So I posted links, so you can use RoboMotion. It's like a UI automation tool. So this is like a backend automation, Zapier, Pabbly, and all of that. But what RoboMotion does is it goes and moves your cursor and clicks buttons on your screen. So like it's that type of automation, and that's quite easy to do with Loom. I'll send you the link, or like it's already like in the group, but I'll just tag you. It's super easy to do. So you can use RoboMotion. You can use I think UiPath. That's also one tool, and there's also one more RPA. They're called RPAs, and it works flawlessly. So you don't need to pay for pitch lane or SendPotion. Everything is done through Loom. Or if you maybe use Vidyard, it can also work. It doesn't matter.
Great. Okay. I have send potion this deal, so I can use it how much I want. But this is thank you very much. I will try this.
Yeah, I'll tag
Pitch,
you. I'll tag you right away.
pitch lane is quite expensive, to be honest.
Yeah. And the issue there is you can't like make it look human. It always looks a bit off. Here, because it records your screen, you can like circle different things. So if you let's say use LinkedIn as the background of the video, you can go and always circle their first and last name, company, and it looks way more human, where you're doodling around the screen. And you can use
Yeah. They
you can
actually
use
they
RoboMotion.
load. They just load like old. They build up like a mock page of their LinkedIn, I think. So it's not always correct.
Yeah, it's like a headless browser. Yeah, and this is way better. But like, I'll give you the tip. What you want to do is you want to rent a VPS, so a virtual private server. It can have Linux, it can have Windows, Windows Server, whatever, Windows 7, and you just run that in the background. Because with RoboMotion, with Loom, you need to have a computer that's running to record the videos. It's all like cloud-based, but to make it cloud-based, you can just get one like for $10, $15, and you run that all day.
Wow. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you for doing the call.
And Walid has one last question.
Yeah, so very quickly, I think it's just kind of like a follow-up question to what Ali asks as well. In regards to the TAM, a couple of the clients that I'm working for right now, I do see that if I build lists on Apollo, so for example, I've identified like 9 different industries for my client that I can approach and pitch their services to. And if I take a look within Apollo, there's approximately about maybe, I want to say around 70 or 80K leads in total that I can find. When I extract them and when I check them for validity, approximately about half of them are not valid anyway. So you're looking at maybe like 40, 45K. And currently I'm doing it roughly about 3.5 to 4K leads every week. So in about 10 weeks time, I'm going to run out of like the total addressable market. What should ideally my next steps be after that? Would it be to do like a LinkedIn campaign with the same contacts? Would it be to look into different channels, like you said, companies that are hiring for similar talent and job boards, etc.? Do we branch out there? And if those are exhausted as well, where do we go from there?
What I would honestly do is when you burn through the TAM, reactivate old leads. So just wait, 2 months, 3 months. Like, just forget. People forget what they ate yesterday, so that's fine. Like, just use a different inbox, and you'll be fine. They won't like report you as spam or anything like that. LinkedIn, like you can try, but the issue with LinkedIn is that if they're not active on there, then it's worthless. So let's say for ecom, for example. So the ecom guys, mostly the employees are active. So like media buyer or email marketer or SEO guy, they're active, but the founder, owner, they don't care. They don't use LinkedIn. Like SaaS, they do, and also like coaches, consultants, IT guys, some of them use it, but also like you have like LinkedIn influencers, let's call them that, and I would use those. So if there's, let's say, a popular guy or someone, like even a company page that posts about cybersecurity or something like that, scrape those leads because you have intent there. And I would hit those up on LinkedIn because they're actively engaging, they use the platform. Some of them will just use a platform, just, I have a LinkedIn and it's that. I don't use it. I don't post content. I don't react to content. I just have it, so that I exist online. That's what I would do. And then if you burn
Got
out
it.
the TAM, like there's nothing else you can do. You can try cold calling or maybe warm calling for the leads that
Mm-hmm.
never reply to you. So let's say the campaign is 4 emails long. So email 1, 2, 3, 4, all of them are sent, and you never get a reply. What you can do is you can just call them up. Hey, sent you a few emails. Are you interested? Or did you even read them? Something like that. Like you're not going to say that right away, but you get a sense of how you're going to do it. So it's a warm call. The pickup rate will vary again depending on the quality of numbers you have, what's the industry, and some of them will be like, I never opened that email, or maybe it went to spam. So it's not like really ideal to think, okay, all of them are going to pick up. That's just not possible. But you'll have a higher close rate through warm calls and cold calls. And then you can also, reach out to them on social media, like if they use something else, so Facebook or I don't know what. And also look at forums. Some of them are like quite active there. Like Salesforce, they have a really big forum. You can reach out there, you can scrape that, or even Slack. So you have Slack groups that are, packed with like marketers or like DTC people, and you can reach out there or just scrape them. Like if the group says that you can't reach out, like still reach out, you don't care, you can just create a new Slack and join, like even if they remove you. Like none of them, like there's no way to moderate Slack currently where it's like a Facebook group where they allow you to join, not allow you to join. Like you're just added through the invite. So I would, utilize that, and then that's that. Like SMS, stay away from it, or
Got it.
target a different geo. Or like if you're
Mm.
doing Canada, US now, maybe do UK, Ireland, even try
Yeah,
Austria,
so
Switzerland.
the lists that I'm building on Apollo currently, the way that I'm doing that is I've put in all the job titles that are relevant. I've put in all the locations that are potentially relevant. So there's like 35 different territories or countries in it. And whenever I have to build a new list, I just bifurcate by the total number of employees, and that's how I get a new batch. But just one thing that I'm a little bit curious about right now is the standard sort of procedure I follow is I currently use the bot that we've got in our community. I just put in a link for Apollo and I extract that list from there, and then I put it in an email checker. So just wanted to clarify, is that like the standard procedure that everybody follows, or is there a better way of doing this so that I can hopefully potentially preserve more leads? Because again, as I said, if it's a 50K list that I have for a client overall, I'm only able to salvage, best case scenario would be maybe like 25 to 30K of those, and the rest of them would be absolutely useless email IDs. So is there a better way of doing this, or is that kind of what we're stuck with?
You can use Scrubby to verify the catch-alls, or there's another tool by Magically Genius. I think they're developing, still testing it, but Scrubby works, but it takes time to verify them. You don't use Apollo. So Apollo isn't the only data provider. You can try Seamless, you can try LeadRox, use RMS, custom scraping. So custom scraping is like getting info from LinkedIn. So Visa, Casper, Apollo sometimes won't hit on certain LinkedIn profiles because data isn't refreshed that often. So what you can do is you can go into LinkedIn, open up the profile of the lead and try Visa, try Casper, or like an email permutrator. And what it does is it takes their first name, last name, and domain, and it starts guessing. So it like creates combinations. So it creates like 30, 40 combinations, and then you verify that, and one or two should hit. And if they're a catch-all, just use Scrubby. But that's the only way to do it. So there's no other way apart from getting data from, like, if you run paid ads, so opt-in data. But depending on the industry, that's hard to get. So unless like it's a popular thing that you would run ads for, like it's a SaaS, you can get opt-in data. Like if you just run a LinkedIn ad campaign and ask them for their email and use that, or you can also try and you know call them or ask someone, you know, contact someone lower down the company. So if you're contacting, let's say, the C guys, maybe contact the VP or even the heads of department, and like ask them like, hey, how will they contact name,
Got
so
it.
how lead name, it's
Yeah.
regarding this and this, and someone that will be open to doing it. And also in the email themselves, so in the steps, what you can do is you can have a step where it's like, are you the right person to speak with? If not, should I contact someone else? And then the ultimate like way to do it, this is some sauce, is state, like, let's say you're contacting the CMO, for example. What you can do is, are you the right person to speak with, or should I contact? And then you name drop the CEO, and they'll be like, okay, like this guy's legit. It's not, a bot.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Perfect. Thank you, Nathan.
Thank you for joining the call.
Yeah,
And it also
well,
looks human. Like you would ask, hey, should I contact someone else and name drop them? It looks human and genuine.
right, boys. Let's wrap this up. Nathan, thank you so much for the presentation. It was a fucking banger. I hope you guys learned something about automations. And obviously, if anyone is interested in working with Nathan and I a little bit more closely, shoot me a DM. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next week.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Take care.
fellas.
Thank you for joining.